College game day is officially dead to me, and it should be dead for every single Big 12 fan. And it pains me to say this. I'm Pete Mundo. Heartland College Sports is where you find us covering the Big 12 Conference. We appreciate you. Like that video right now and make sure that you are subscribed to this channel if you love the Big 12 and you love college football and college basketball. So Saturday morning, week 9, the first time I've had a chance to sit down and really watch college game day. I've got 3 little girls. They're 6, 4, and 1. So right now, we're in the phase of life where I've got soccer games on Saturday mornings and life is crazy, especially when you're the head coach of the first and second grade girls soccer team, which went 6-2, by the way, this season, I might add. But more importantly, Saturday was the first time I could sit down and really watch college game day through the eyes of a Big 12 fan. And you would have thought that this conference did not exist. The Big 12 in the first 78 minutes, that's an hour and 18 minutes for those of you wondering. There were 2 very brief Big 12 mentions. One was BYU, Iowa State, got a little bit of love. Kansas State got shown on the screen as part of some Home Depot, games of the day type of thing, but really no analysis, no coverage. And then there was a little one, a third one. I guess this was more of an injury report mention. But when Pete Thamel had Dominique Orange, Iowa State defensive tackle, being announced as playing against BYU, that got, a 20-second mention. We went 78 minutes without any real analysis of anything Big 12 related. Now, I understand that ESPN is basically in bed with the SEC at this point, but it's still a TV partner of the Big 12, right up there with Fox. And then they have, of course, the sub package with TNT. But it was abysmal to try to watch the product. And I love the product. I mean, I go back to college, waking up, watching game day, being enthusiastic about this. I'm not looking for a reason to beat up on the show because I like the people on the show. I like McAfee a lot. I think Herb Street does a really great job. Reese Davis, Desmond Howard I could do without. But set him aside, Nick Saban. I like Nick Saban more as a voice on college game day than I ever did as a head coach. But they give you nothing if you're a Big 12 fan. Absolutely nothing. And I went back and I started looking at some of this. And I thought to myself, okay, when is the last time they were at a Big 12 game? Because this year it's been all Big 10, all SEC. In fact, this year, they've only been to one non-Big 10 or one non-SEC site. And that was Miami earlier this year, but even that included, of course, an SEC team in Florida. So I'm going back through, the week by week over the last few years. And the last time they were at a Big 12 game with college game day was 2023, Oklahoma, Texas. But take those out of it, right? When's the last time they were at a Big 12 campus of a current Big 12 team? And it was Kansas versus TCU in Lawrence in 2022. Later that year, they were at the Big 12 championship, but you think about a team that is in the Big 12 now, that was in the Big 12. I'm not counting the Pac-12 teams. A Big 12 team, the last time was 3 years ago. They stepped foot on a current Big 12 campus of a team that was in the Big 12 and still is. They basically told the Big 12 to pound sand. So what's the play here? Well, Brett Yormark, I think, still was really smart in getting this deal done with ESPN when he did. A couple of years back, you remember, the Big 12 cut the line on the TV deal thing. They did it, and they got ahead of the Pac-12. The Pac-12 was the next conference that was due to get a TV deal done. And Yormark jumped the line, got the Big 12 extension done first, and that was basically the beginning of the end for the Pac-12. It was a great business move. It made a lot of sense at that time to stay in a relationship with ESPN and Fox because it was really just a race between the Pac-12 and the Big 12 to get a deal done. Whoever got their deal done first was going to survive. The loser was in a very bad spot, and the loser was the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 does not exist, at least, for all intents and purposes. It does not exist anymore as a power conference. So it made sense then to do this ESPN Fox thing. But as we look ahead to the end of the decade, there is no reason for the Big 12 to treat ESPN as a premier partner for this conference. I'm looking at Fox. Big Noon Kickoff has been much kinder. It's not as good of a product as GameDay. Hasn't been around as long. Doesn't have the cachet. Doesn't get the ratings. It's been kinder to the Big 12. They've been to 2 games this year, Iowa State, and then they went to BYU a couple of weeks back. TNT is doing a nice job. They had an hour-long pregame studio show this on week 9 with the KU K-State game, which they aired at 11 o'clock Central Time. So TNT is building up its familiarity with college football. I think that's a lane the Big 12 should be exploring extensively. But the ESPN relationship is dead. ESPN is all SEC. And I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm like, is there any chance they get to a Big 12 game this year? And the only potential I can find, and I was looking at the schedule, and I say potential because I'm still not convinced they're going to do it, is Week 11, November 8th. Texas Tech hosts BYU. If BYU is still undefeated and a top 10 team by then, and Tech is 6-1, doesn't lose another game, they're top 15 right now, maybe top 10 by then maybe you get an all Big 12 top 10 matchup and and then College Game Day goes to Lubbock. That's possible, but I'm not even going to sit here and tell you it's likely because the other game that's going on that day, Alabama hosting LSU and Missouri hosting Texas A&M. And then Indiana goes to Penn State, which doesn't mean anything anymore with the way Penn State is trending. But you know and I know that Alabama hosting LSU is going to have ESPN salivating and falling over itself to get down to Tuscaloosa. And I can't even hate ESPN because they basically made a major bet on the SEC. That is where they're spending the most money. They have a right to do what they think is in the best interest of their largest conference partner, where they're spending the most money. They have every right to do that. I'm just saying from the Big 12's perspective, the Big 12 doesn't need to go along to get along anymore with ESPN. They got to play nice till the end of the deal, but they don't have to continue to go down this road of doing what ESPN wants. ESPN views itself as the commissioner of college football because there is none. There is no governing body. The NCAA is a joke. The whole sport's out of control. ESPN views itself as the kingmaker in this sport. And I believe they have basically held some of these conferences hostage by saying, you don't get in bed with us. What's that mean for your prospects in the college football playoff? What's that mean for how we talk about and cover your teams? Well, you're not covering the Big 12 right now, so what's it matter? You're up the SEC's butt as far as you can go. You're coming out of the mouth at this point. What's it matter? And as the media landscape continues to splinter and break apart, ESPN still has the most juice when it comes to the college football landscape, but it's not what it was 5 years ago. It's not what it was 10 years ago. It's certainly not what it was 15 or 20 years ago. The world is changing. There are thousands of you coming to this show every single day, finding this show. That's why I want to make sure that you are subscribed right now to the channel and hit the like button as well here at Heartland College Sports. So as that splintering continues to happen, maybe TNT wants to get more involved in what the Big 12 is doing. That would be great. I've been fairly impressed with their studio show and how they're really promoting the Big 12. Maybe that's the future. I watched Brett Yormark. He was on the broadcast during the KU K-State game in the first half. And I don't know if he read the column I wrote at heartlandcollegesports.com before he went on the air, but he started waxing poetic about TNT, the relationship with the Big 12, how he's excited for basketball season, what that's going to look like. So maybe he is already planting that seed of saying, hey, TNT, step up. Let's build this relationship because ESPN is dead to us. It does not have any interest in covering the Big 12. And it makes me wonder if I've got to hop on here on Saturday mornings and give you guys a full pregame morning show the day of game day. I mean, I have a full preview and I predict every single game on Wednesdays. Every week we drop that podcast. We drop that video on YouTube so you can see it and watch it there or listen to it on the podcast. And I give you 30, 40 minutes of a game-by-game breakdown and pick. You're not getting that from College Game Day, but maybe I got to do something more on Saturday morning and take advantage. And if you're a business owner and you want to hop on as a sponsor of anything we're doing, you just hit me up, Pete Mundo at heartlandcollegesports.com. We'll make something work here because we are getting more folks reaching out, asking to partner with us. Another sign that the media landscape as we know it is collapsing when it comes to the big brands playing gatekeeper. People are finding shows like this. I know you watch a lot of other shows as well, listen to other podcasts and things of that nature. But as long as we continue, and I mean we, the grassroots media landscape folks, gain ground, then there's no reason to sit there and say, well, we've got to have this relationship with ESPN, because you don't. So none of this brings me joy, because I loved watching College Game Day in places like Stillwater, going into a big Bedlam matchup, seeing them in Lawrence and Fort Worth and Waco for a big game going back several years now. But those days are over. We're not getting it. And as Big 12 fans, we have to acknowledge what the reality is right now of the college football big media landscape. And ESPN's vision does not include the promotion of this conference. And the sooner we all acknowledge that reality, the sooner we can plan for what the future looks like. I'm Pete Mundo on Heartland College Sports. Please make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Join our free forums at heartlandcollegesports.com. Great way to interact with fellow Big 12 fans. We keep growing because of you. Thank you guys for being here. We'll talk to you with a Week 9 reaction show that will drop on Sunday morning. Another reason to be subscribed. Enjoy the games and go Big 12.